Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is The Amateur, where we're here just to talk life, hobbies, politics, ideologies, what have you. And on today's episode, I'm going to be reacting to a TikTok video that was pushed out. But in overall, the summary is finances. Now, I am no financial guru, but I can just say that I do not have any debt. I owe nobody nothing currently. I don't own a home or anything, so that's my next step. But essentially what happened is this girl came out on TikTok claiming she's 25 years old and 100K a year or 10,000 a month, like $10,000 a month is not enough to live on. And that's $120,000 a month if you're going to do that. So $100,000, $120,000 a month is not enough for her specifically. But I'm just going to go ahead and play the video so you can see the nonsense that this is.
Okay, so I low-key remade this video like 3 times because basically I was gonna come on here and just be upset that like I made $270, but like I made $270. It's just really upsetting when you like work super hard and like people sit in your section for 5-6 hours and they tip you below 20%. Like, I could have had 5-6 tables within that span time at that specific table because I'm like the type of server that like flips tables really fast. So like I'm on average making 400, 300 on a bad night, 500 on a good night. Like that's my average. So like making 200 on a fight night is kind of like, it makes me wonder like, am I losing money working? Like, okay, so I don't know how many times I have to mention this, but I will say it again. Hourly wage is not worth it. I will never be going back working for the white man. I will be working for myself. I will be working for tips. I will be creating my own business because working for hourly page in the U.S. is not worth it. It's not. Sir, $117,000 a year is not a lot of money. It's a lot of money to some Americans because Americans are broke. But $100,000 is not a lot of money. But congratulations. This comment, $117,000 a year is $10,000 a month. It's not that I live a lavish lifestyle. It's that I live an adult life. I'm 25 years old. You cannot survive on $10,000 a month. I can't. Okay, so this is just one of the comments I'm going to stitch because a lot of people are taking my video out of context. $10,000 where I live is not a lot of money. Being 25 years old, being a young adult, being from California, being someone who likes to travel, being someone who likes to eat, being someone who likes to work out, being someone who does a lot of activities, and also working at a restaurant is my part-time job, so I do have other incomes. I was not bashing anyone who does not make $100,000 a year. I'm just saying that in specific areas, in a lot of areas, $100,000 is not a lot, especially when you have a family, especially when you're, you know what I mean? And y'all need to stop being so sensitive. I'm sorry, I'm not responsible for how you take my videos. I'm not responsible for your feelings. All I can say is I'm very direct. You can ask me anything. And I'm not a silver spoon child. Like, I'm humble.
So you heard that, right? We all heard that? Okay. So I think I want to make the distinguishment that she's clearly not. Okay, because she says $100,000 is not enough to survive. And so there's a difference between surviving and thriving and then just living that lavish life. And she claims she's not living a lavish luxury, but if you're eating out in restaurants, that's living lavishly, honestly. But like eating out, having enough money to eat out, and she should know this because she's a service woman. She works as a waitress, at least as the time that was posted. But you need to have money to eat out, especially as it is in the States. We can talk about the tipping system, whatever, but if for people who want to work on as a waitress and live off tips, and you want to have people who have money to tip, so if you don't have enough money to tip, you shouldn't be eating out because you're eating out, you're living lavishly. But that's besides the point. But the point of the matter, though, is that she talks about surviving. 100,000 a year is not enough to survive. And I just like, I think I brought the statistic up elsewhere, but it's like the average income in America of the household, like a family household, is about $60,000 a year, which again means more than half of the population is living off less than that, but also more than half the population is living off much more than that. I don't know how much this accounts for the skewedness of, you know, billionaires, multi-billionaires, multi-millionaires, etc. But still, and so it's just kind of like, I myself am 25 years old and I'm not making anywhere close to 100,000 a year, and I'm also fine. And so, like, and I'm single. Like, I don't even have a family. I don't have pets. If you have a pet, that's a luxury. Sorry, not sorry. Like, you're living above your means if you're also trying to take care of a pet when you can't hardly take care of yourself, it would seem. But I think to her point is like, what are we talking about here when she's like, so we were saying surviving, like, if you're just trying to survive, you definitely don't need 100K. There's and this is a discussion, honestly, because there's a debate as far as with the things that you choose in order to live, right? And so we have the quality of products and what is acceptable versus what is unacceptable. And this was an earlier comment that was brought up. So I know there was what was it, the refugees in like Germany or in Europe or something like that. But refugees were provided, they were provided some housing, some shelter, they provided food, they provided a place to wash their clothing. It didn't look that great. Like, it didn't look like something you would go out and buy for yourself. But like, if the government, and this is the thing with the government's going to give you something for free. It's not typically going to be of high quality. So just keep that in mind. But there was like a video that was, I don't know if I can find it. If I can find it, I'll see if I can put it in.
I can't say my full name because TikTok will take down the video. Anyways, I'm outside of the Schule. That's what they call it here in Germany. This is where some of my friends live that have come here from Africa and the Middle East. As you can see, this is his bed. It's 2 cots put together. Not the best living conditions, but it's all that the German government has given them. And you can see they don't have any walls. They just use fucking lockers. Like, what the fuck is that? It's like 20 people living in one room, one classroom. There's families that also stay here. This is the hallway, as you can see. It's like, I think probably, this is the bathrooms right here. They have locks on the bathrooms, so I guess you need a permission to take a shit. I don't know what the fuck that's about. There's probably close to 300 people living in this big-ass school. These are the stoves. Again, not the best conditions. I think it's like 5 or 6 stoves for all of these hundreds of people. It's just terrible conditions, and nobody should have to deal with this bullshit. And they don't have dryers here. Germany, y'all can do way better.
But essentially, the video is just saying, like, this is the quality, this is what you're giving us, Germany. Like, Germany, you got to do better for treating these refugees. And like, there's arguments for yes and no, but pretty much like not necessarily being satisfied with your lot, but also understanding that this is coming out of kindness, supposedly, and to be thankful. Not to be satisfied necessarily, but to be thankful. And there's 2 separate things, you know. And you talk about beggars not being choosers as far as with that phrasing. But I think, and there was another clip that's like, you're allowed to choose, if that makes any sense. It's really weird. I didn't really think on this subject well enough and long enough before making this video. So that's why I might seem a little bit more everywhere. But essentially, as far as with the quality of life that you're living is like, yes, you can have a roof over your house or a roof over your head, but what does that look like? Is that going to be a 6-bedroom, 3-bathroom home, or is it like a 1-room home with a bathroom and you're fine, which is pretty much what I'm living in right now. You know, where are you living? And she, like, I think for her, she's from California, but moved to Arizona, which Arizona is less expensive than California, but also where you live is important. And if you're able to live somewhere that's less expensive because that's what you can afford, you should do that. So I think this, I don't know. I think her videos that she pushed out just kind of shows this sense of entitlement. And like, she's like, I like to look good. I like to go to the gym. It's like, sure, gym memberships are expensive, but they also aren't necessary to survive or thrive. That's what public parks are for. That's what, you know, you can have your own home workouts, your home gyms, or, you know, utilizing the things that are around you. So if you have a table, using the table to do whatever or what have you, or, you know, just having that diligence to work out at home, or you aren't going to get the same amount of exercise that you would get in a gym, but it's about being able to make do with what you can afford. And if you can't afford it, don't do it. But I think what we see here as well is this lack of delayed gratification. Because I know for lifestyles, like for me, even me personally, I love to travel. I love to go out and see the world, but I can afford to do that. If you can't, you might have to save money, make wiser decisions in the short term, so that in the long run that you can see the benefits and the fruits of your endeavors. But like we live in a society right now where it's like everything is two inches in front of your eyes, and they can't see past in the distance of things that, hey, maybe I should wait and think about the long-term effects and the long-term consequences. Consequences, by the way, good or bad, like you can have good consequences, you can have bad consequences, but the consequences still need to be considered either way, and that's not really happened. We don't really do that right now in the society. So we don't practice delayed gratification. We don't practice long-term goals. We don't really practice thinking about the long effects, like looking out at the distance, because we have 7-second attention spans, 10-second attention spans, so everything's like always right in front of our eyes. And so I think we're cultivating a society that's not able to look that far out in the distance. But Miss Homegirl, like, sure, I don't know, I guess she wasn't expecting quite the backlash that she got, but it's just like understanding that there are families, again, that actually are like married or what have, with actual children, that they're going out working daily, and sometimes their combined household is going to be less than $100,000 a year, and they're able to make do. And you can argue whether that's the life that you want or whatnot, but I think we do a disservice. And it's not about necessarily elevating poor status or poverty, if that makes any sense, but understanding that it's not the end of the world, and that usually for many people, low income or a low poverty status relatively is not the resting place. For many people, it just takes a little bit more time to elevate that wealth status, to accumulate that wealth, if they're saving and they're making the appropriate decisions. And for most, like their decisions are being rewarded more than not. Like, I mean, you see even now with some college age students that go to school, or they're taking out loans to go to school, that's going to have consequences further down the line. However we want to call it, if the president or the Biden administration plans on forgiving or determining who's going to pay the loans that people willingly took out to get a product that they received and used and would seem to have benefited from. But other people did not do that. They did not take a loan. They went and got their own education, their own way, made their own money, and they shouldn't have to pay for someone else's failures and faults. And so that's kind of like, again, when we see choices playing off of each other and the consequences therein. But all this to say is that she sounds very, very entitled. She's right to have her own opinion, but to expect also the commentary from that. It's just like a lot of the things with lifestyle is about the decisions that you make, and sometimes you have to deny some of the things that you want in that moment for a better outcome in the end. And that may mean not going on vacations as regularly, or if you are trying to do a vacation within your means. Actually budget, because like she says she spends $2,000 a month on food. That's crazy. That's even if you do eat out, that's like a lot of money. Like, I don't know where she's going. I think my budget used to be like, was it like about $300 a month for food, like cooking, and then I would maybe put $100 aside for like going out or whatever, because I usually don't go out that often. But I also haven't budgeted very recently, so those are very inaccurate numbers of my current lifestyle. But what are the matter though is that it doesn't not sound like she's actually budgeting her money. $100,000 a year is more than enough for many people if you are able to make the right decisions. Because again, it's like if you want a Lamborghini and you only make $100,000 a month, so like you might only have the Lamborghini and nothing else, and you're just living out of a Lamborghini. I don't really know how much a Lamborghini costs, but besides the point. Point of the matter though is that we got to practice budgeting, making decisions, and think about long-term consequences, causes, and effects of the things that you do. But man, some women can be so entitled. Is what it is. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.